Hi, so this is the video of King Ahmose I. He was the first king of the 18th dynasty, and the 18th dynasty is the first dynasty in the New Kingdom. So Ahmose reunited the two lands under his kingship and created the New Kingdom. So these are going to be Egypt's glory days, where they come back. Now, we're talking for his reign 1549 BCE to 1524 BCE. So he ruled Egypt for 25 years, and that was pretty good going. Kingship that lasted between 20-25 years was about right to rule the country successfully and to leave an heir. Any longer and things started falling apart. Manetho, who created the dynasties back in the Greek period, remember he was an Egyptian priest who lived during the Greek period of Egypt, and he was concerned about his ancestors' history. So he was the one who we think created these dynastical families. He recognized that Ahmose was the pretender really to the throne of Egypt, along with the Hyksos in the north and the Kushites in the south, which is why he gave him his own dynasty in the 18th dynasty. He really should have been included in the 17th dynasty, but because he wasn't a sole ruler, Manetho didn't include him in that dynasty. So the first thing is to expel the Hyksos. So up to the city of Avaris, and we can only summarize that there was a siege on the city. We do know that the records say that the elite of the Hyksos, not the whole Hyksos people, were expelled from Avaris, and they sought shelter in the retinue of a town called Sharon. And then later, Ahmose I persecuted the war to the cities of Sharon and totally destroyed the Hyksos elite. So maybe he had got wind that they were going to try and raise an army and come back to Egypt. He then persecuted the Canaan area as far as Byblos. He claims that he went into the retinue, but it's quite doubtful. And then he turned his attention to the Kushites, expelled them down to the first cataract, and then reclaimed those gold fields in ancient Kush, modern day Sudan. Then he went about to Osiris, and he built a pyramid at Abydos. Now this pyramid was excavated a couple of times. No internal chambers were found, so it's most likely a cenotaph to Osiris, and that was quite a popular thing to do in the 12th dynasty, was to build a cenotaph to Osiris at Abydos. Why was Osiris so important? Well, he is the gatekeeper of the Duat. So the Duat is above Abydos, and that's where the spirits journey down the valley and up into the night sky through the gateway to be with the gods, and then they return back to Egypt and live inside their mummified bodies until nighttime returns. Now, where was the king buried? If he wasn't buried at Abydos, where was he buried? Well, it's more than likely that he was buried in the Valley of the Kings, and that he built the first tomb in the Valley of the Kings. His mummified body was found in a cache at around Dela Bakri in 1881, along with other members of royal family, members, kings and queens, etc., priests. It was a reburial. The priests were trying to safeguard royal mummified bodies, and they reburied it into this cache. What's interesting is that the Valley of the Kings has quite a few unknown owners, and I think that's one of those unknown tombs actually belonged to Ahmose I. And I'll speak more in depth on the Valley of the Kings in another video, because it needs another video. He united the two lands of Egypt, the Neptawi, into one kingdom. And you're going to see lots of icons, early icons, because the pyramids have been standing for 1,000 years in Egypt. That's a long time, when most people are only living till 35, 40 years of age. And the hierarchy, maybe 50, 55. Only kings of Egypt live sort of 60 plus years. So 1,000 years is a great history. And these kings in the 18th dynasty, they try and link themselves back to King Narmer. Remember Narmer? And remember his palette that he left? You see the smiting scenes. They recreate this on temples. So how did they do it? Well, they created kings lists. So the first king was Narmer, and then they list all the kings after Narmer up to their present reign. And that's the kings list. And you're going to see it at Abydos, you're going to see it at Karnak and Luxor and places like that, because that's where they created these kings lists. Sometimes they call them halls or rooms of the ancestors. That's how they link themselves back. The other thing you're going to see in this 18th dynasty is when they have pictures of Amun-Ra, who's the most powerful deity during this time, and Waset, which the Greeks called Thebes, and we know today as Luxor, was the new capital for this new kingdom. They commissioned statues and pictures of Amun-Ra, and the king looks exactly like Amun-Ra, or Amun-Ra looks exactly like the king. So by doing that, they confirmed that they were actually father and son. Other things you're going to see are the various icons, the whip and the flail, the red crown for Lower Egypt, the white crown for Upper Egypt sitting on top, showing the two crowns of union. It brings us to the end of the reign of Ahmose I. He ruled for 25 years. He left a very strong, unified kingdom for his successor, who was going to be Amenhotep I. And I'll talk about that in another video. What I'd like you to do now is to press the subscribe button if you haven't already. So that's about a wrap now. So take care, and I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.